Focus on gravitate towards the Bible. If you want to flick in your Bible to Luke 24, please. This is one of my favourite bits of the whole Bible. Luke 24. This is just after Jesus has risen from the dead, and we're starting in verse 13. If you're using these blue Bibles, it's 1061. Now, the same day, two of these disciples were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them, but they were kept from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you talking about? What are you discussing together as you walk along?" And they stopped dead. They stood still, their face downcast. One of them, Cleopas, asked him, "Are you kidding?" I'm paraphrasing slightly. "Are you kidding? Are you the only one visiting Jerusalem who hasn't seen? Have you had your head in the sand? Who are you? Are you the only one who does not know the things that have happened in these days?" And Jesus, I think rather innocently, goes, "Oh, what things?" Bless him. And then the words start flowing out of Cleopas's mouth. "About Jesus of Nazareth," they replied, "who was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all the people. The chief priests and our rulers handed him over to be sentenced to death, and they killed him. They crucified him." And this is the verse. "But we had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel." We hoped this was it. We gave 3 years of our life to this, but they killed him. What's gone wrong here? And you can hear this crushing weight of failure on them. We thought this was it, but he died. He failed. We failed. What on earth are we going to do now? Then verse 25, Jesus has a bit of a what I call a Gandalf moment. I think he giggles to himself a little bit, chuckles, and says, "How foolish you are, and slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Did not the Messiah have to suffer these things and enter his glory?" And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, so all the scriptures they had, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself. Jesus used the whole Bible that he had. He didn't pick out a couple of bits. He said, going through all of them in order from Moses, how all of it pointed to him. Now look at verse 32. This is when Jesus disappears again. They asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us?" Our hearts burn within them. There's nothing wrong with the Bible. There's nothing wrong with the material that we had. It's Kate, isn't it? You asked me just beforehand how this came about, and what I told you was about 5 years ago, I decided to test this. Does this work? And I work with mostly unchurched young people. That means young people who have no interaction with church whatsoever. These are totally post-Christendom, post-church, post-Christian, no idea what I'm talking about in terms of religion and Christianity. These are kids who don't know the stories. That's the main young person I spend most of my time with. And I decided about 5 years ago, the only resource I was going to use with them was the Bible. I stopped using paid-for, pre-printed, published resources. I stopped using things that I downloaded. I stopped using Bible study plans. I actually stopped prepping them. I just had my Bible, had a passage in mind, made sure I knew the passage, made sure I knew them. And everything I did, everything, detached ministry, assemblies, classrooms, drop-in sessions, skate park stuff, one-to-ones, the only thing I used was the Bible. Only thing I used was the Bible. I opened it, said, "Right, what do you think this means?" And we just talked about it. I made sure I knew the passage well enough, I made sure I knew them well enough, and we interacted, and I've never looked back.